Hey everybody, welcome to another installment of Guntuber Tier List. This is Guntuber Tier List Part 3. Get ready for some fun. Some of these explanations are going to be longer winded than I typically have, but let's have some fun with this. First up, Print, Shoot, Repeat. One of my absolute favorites. He is A tier. He's like the gun community's only legit music video star. His music, his editing, his choreography now. He's into printing, squirting, whatever you want to call it. He is entertainer of the year, if you ask me. Fun videos, some good information. Dude does like finished brutality and other stuff. Yeah, overall, watch him. Active self-protection. So active self-protection, I'm putting in A tier. So John Correa, I believe is his name. He runs a pretty good channel, and it was one of the first ones I feel like that actually showed like actual self-defense scenarios and walk through them, like how they play out, what happens, the results, that sort of thing. So it's very valuable information. He's a good speaker. He does some gun review stuff, and it's actually pretty solid too. I like him. Definitely check his channel out if you aren't already aware. Small Arms Solutions. Chris, I think his last name's Scaramucci or something like that. I've probably butchered that. But I think he would be an A tier, but some of his history stuff gets a little long-winded for me, and I guess I don't have a leg to stand on too because sometimes I ramble on things. But Chris does a really good job of giving you the history on the firearms, and like all how it started, the programs, all that stuff. He's just not as concise as some of the other ones that do some of the history, but I would say he's in like the top 3. If you want gun history, go to Chris is up there. Beretta 9mm USA, F tier. If you don't know who this is a father-son duo, and they are arguably the worst gun tubers that have ever existed, in my opinion. Yes, worse even than the Yankee Marshall, because I know people like to bring that up, that how much I rag on Yankee. But Beretta 9mm USA, I believe, might actually be worse, him and his son. So if you don't know the history, they did these reviews on Alchemy custom weaponry guns. And they gave these glowing reviews because they're good guns. Alchemy builds really good guns. They're hand fit. It's wild. They gave these glowing reviews about this is the way a custom gun should be, all this other stuff. Well, it turns out when Alchemy Custom said, like, hey, we're not going to do this weird stuff you want to these guns, because they were making demands and trying to buy these guns with, we want you to put comps in it and ports and do all this stuff. And Alchemy's like, that's not our thing. Here's what we do. They got upset when they no longer got their discount and their like stuff like that, and they went back and they changed their reviews. Like, they left the original videos, but they changed the titles as well as the descriptions about how this is no longer a custom gun. And then they started making up stuff. So like in their original review, they're like, this is the best hand fitting we've ever seen. And now they're like, this isn't even really that great a hand fitting. It's not like this. So they've changed their opinion, and they're blatantly lying because a manufacturer no longer gives them a discount because they were divas to work with. I think they're arguably some of the biggest trash bags in the gun community. You'd be hard-pressed to find someone worse than that hasn't committed an actual crime. So yeah, F tier, deepest F tier. AKOU, one of my favorites, A tier. So Robski's been instrumental on the proliferation of the AK in the United States. Without his videos, a lot of people wouldn't understand what an AK is capable of, how it runs, how to make it run better, and which brands to buy. Like, the guy's legit. He's a legit shooter, too. I think he's some sort of sniper or something like that. in actual military. He's done some pretty crazy matches, I think. But the one thing that's rough with his channel right now is because of the imports and the AK market kind of getting inflated and drying up, is it struggles with, like, there's not much new stuff being made. Like, PSA is only making whatever, like they're like one of the only companies. Like a couple just went out of business, I believe. Was it Riley Defense? One of them just went out of business. But basically you got like Atlantic and PSA, and then like some of the imports that are drying up. So there's not much there anymore for him. I feel bad on that, but because I love AKs and he runs a great channel. So A tier. Black Rambo. Black Rambo F tier as well. So Black Rambo is the embodiment of the worst person to have next to you at an indoor gun range. He's reckless, he's loud, he uses sketchy firearms, and sometimes he's just outright dangerous to be around. His videos are like desperate pleas to make him a GTA or Call of Duty character. Like, I think he even has a video like, put me in Call of Duty, please. Like, it's sad, it's cliche, he's a meme at this point. I have no idea how he got like 3 million subs. It just blows my mind on that. And yeah, he's awful. If you watch his videos, he's shooting these bolt action 50 BMG pistols with giant brakes right next to people and without any concern or looking around or anything. Like, he's unsafe. And that's, I think it leaves a mark on like gun owners, and it's not a good look. So yeah. Donut Operator. Donut Operator is D tier. So I'm going to be pretty rough on Donut Operator because I think he's a Timu version of Carl Urban. He just like kind of saunters around now with like his crew, where he's usually under the influence of alcohol, and he just makes off-color jokes on other people's channels. Like, he used to like review shootings. I think he still kind of does because he was a police officer at one point. But right now, it's like we're watching the decline here, which is unfortunate. But I mean, that's his personality. If you're into the police stuff, I usually watch Police Activity or Active Self-Protection or a lot of other channels instead of Donut Operator. At this point, I'm just kind of waiting until he stops doing his channel. Focus Trip. I was just on Focus Trip's channel. He's doing like a Guntuber handgun fight comparison, which I actually liked. But overall, Focus, man, I got to put you in D tier because I did a little more homework on some of his content. And one of the things is the Tacticon armament tourniquet video puts him in a pretty poor hypocrisy light. So he kind of has like recently, I would say his videos are pretty much him being like a smug contrarian. And it might be just his personality. Like, he says he's socially inept and awkward and these types of things. So maybe it's just his personality that I don't get. But yeah, the Tacticon armament, he was like telling them that they needed all this data and statistics, and then they asked, well, what do you have? And it was like one Amazon review against their tourniquets. I've made a couple other videos about his hypocrisy on a few things. But yeah, it seems like it's rules for thee and not for me on his channel. But I think he means well. He just doesn't come off the way that he should. And his personality is not someone you're going to invite to your barbecue, for sure. Humble Marksman, A tier. I am not the whole dad energy jokes and dad jokes and stuff like that. I'm not a huge fan of, but I'm not going to hold it against him because he does pretty good reviews. He's a legit like shooter. He competes with things. He tries things out. I think he puts honest testing through, and he doesn't tell you should buy things necessarily that are all hype. You know, like a lot of other channels are like, once we added this comp, it's the best gun ever. And Humble's on a lot of them is like, it's not really that much better. If you have the old ones, stick with it. So I appreciate him and his videos. I watch a lot of them because if you know, I'm into Langdons, and he's done a lot of those videos, and it's fun to watch. Last but not least, Forgotten Weapons, A tier. Ian is up there. The dude has an endless pool of knowledge on the history of guns. Like, if, Small Arms Solutions has a pretty good history, Ian's number one. There's no one above Ian as far as Forgotten Weapons. The videos he's done have been awesome too, like the Gyrojet, the HKG11, some of these other guns that no one could get in a room with, and he's being able to take them apart and show you how they work, or even fire them, is awesome. I love his channel. He has good stuff. He shows off the cool stuff that I remember was like coming out when I was a kid, way back in the early 90s, late 80s, that sort of thing. So yeah, A tier. Well, that's where we end up with tier list part 3. The next tier list is going to be the YouTuber tactical tier list. So everyone with tactical in their name is going to be part 4. We're going to have some fun with that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If I got anything wrong, if you disagree, if you completely agree, leave a comment, leave a like if you like this. And then if there's people you think I should check out, put them in the comments as well. I always come across new ones. Like, there was someone on the last video that put Tyler, and I'd already been watching some of his stuff. I think it was Suppressors or something like that. So I definitely watch this stuff. If you want to suggest people, by all means. All right, everyone. Take care.